Have you ever looked around and wondered where everyone went? The daily phone calls slow down, invitations become rare, and suddenly the social calendar that once felt full now seems a little too quiet. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Retirement brings many blessings: freedom, time, rest, but it also shifts our social landscape in ways we don't always expect. The truth is, making new friends after 60 can feel like starting over. But here's the good news. It's not only possible, it can be deeply fulfilling. Maybe you're someone who's always had a strong circle of friends, but over time, life happens. People move, some grow distant, and others we lose to the natural course of time. Or maybe you spent years focused on family or career and now find yourself wondering, who do I even spend time with these days? Either way, that quiet feeling doesn't mean your social days are over. In fact, this chapter of life might be the perfect time to build new, meaningful friendships, ones based not on convenience, but on shared joy, interests, and values. Let's talk about how we start that journey, right here, right now. The first step is something simple but powerful. Be open to connection. That may sound obvious, but it's often the hardest part. Many of us carry around invisible walls, built from years of rejection, loss, or just routine. We get used to our own space, our habits, and the idea that friendships just happen like they did in school or at work. But now we're in a different season of life, and friendships may require a little more intention. So what does being open really look like? It might mean starting a conversation with someone at your local cafe, asking a neighbor how their day is going, or staying a few minutes longer at your walking group instead of heading straight home. It's about sending out small signals that say, I'm here and I'm interested in getting to know you. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops, just be gently present. You'll be amazed how many people are also quietly hoping for the same thing. Next, consider this. Rediscovering your interests is one of the fastest ways to meet new people. Think back. What did you love doing before life got busy? Was it gardening, painting, playing cards? Maybe you've always wanted to try a book club, or learn how to line dance, or even master a new language. This stage of life is your invitation to not only return to what lights you up, but to do it in the company of others. Community centers, libraries, senior groups, and even online platforms now offer all kinds of classes and meetups tailored for people just like you. And no, you don't have to be the best in the room, just show up. That's where the magic begins. When you engage in something you genuinely enjoy, conversation flows naturally. You connect not over forced small talk, but shared laughter, mutual learning, and real experiences. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if I feel shy? What if I've been out of the loop too long? Let me assure you, feeling nervous is completely normal, but you don't have to be the most outgoing person to build real connections. Sometimes the quietest hello or the simplest compliment is enough to open a door. Most people aren't looking for perfect, they're looking for genuine. And there's nothing more genuine than someone who shows up with an open heart and a willingness to try. Because as you begin to step into new activities and connect with others, there's another piece that matters just as much: consistency. Relationships don't grow overnight, especially later in life when everyone's rhythms and routines are a little more set. The key isn't in making one dazzling impression, it's in showing up again and again even when it feels awkward, even when you're not sure anyone notices. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't plant seeds and expect flowers the next day. You water, you wait, and you trust that something good is taking root. The same is true for new friendships. Whether it's showing up each week to a class, regularly chatting with the same neighbor during your morning walk, or checking in with someone you recently met, those small, repeated actions build trust. They create a rhythm, and over time, that rhythm becomes relationship. You might meet someone once and feel an instant connection, but more often, friendships build slowly. They deepen through shared experiences, repeated conversations, and the simple act of showing up. So don't be discouraged if the first few interactions feel surface level. That's perfectly normal. What matters is staying engaged long enough to let something real develop. Another important shift: Let go of the idea that friendship must look like it did decades ago. Many of us carry this mental picture of what a real friend should be. Maybe it's someone we talk to every day, or someone we've known since childhood. But friendship at this stage of life can be wonderfully different. It might be someone you meet once a week for coffee, someone you chat with at the community pool, or someone you share quiet moments with during a nature walk. It doesn't have to be all or nothing to be meaningful. What's beautiful about later life friendships is that they tend to be more intentional. There's less drama, less competition, and more appreciation for simple, honest connection. You don't need dozens of people around you to feel fulfilled. Just one or two good friends can make all the difference. And those connections often start in the most ordinary moments. Now, I want to talk about something that often goes unspoken: the courage to make the first move. It's easy to wait for someone else to say hello, to invite us in, to start the conversation. But what if they're waiting too? What if they're sitting on the same bench, feeling the same loneliness, wondering the same things? Sometimes it takes bravery to smile first, to ask, "Would you like to join me for a walk next time?" Or, "I really enjoyed chatting with you. Would you like to meet for coffee sometime?" Yes, it feels vulnerable. And yes, not everyone will say yes. But here's the truth. The more you practice reaching out, the easier it becomes. And the more you put yourself out there, the more likely it is that something special will come back your way. Remember, you've lived a full life. You carry wisdom, stories, humor, kindness, all the things that make someone a great friend. You're not starting from zero. You're simply offering the best parts of yourself in a new way, in a new season. Let's keep moving forward, because there's still more to uncover when it comes to building meaningful friendships in retirement. You've opened your heart, taken the first steps, and begun to plant those seeds. Now let's talk about how to keep those connections growing strong. Because once those connections begin to sprout, the next step is learning how to nurture and strengthen them. Just like a plant needs sunlight and care, friendships need warmth and attention. And the beautiful part is, it doesn't take grand gestures. It's the little things that often matter the most. Start by being present. When you're spending time with someone, whether it's over coffee, during a walk, or even a phone call, put away distractions and really listen. Ask how they're doing, not just out of habit, but because you genuinely care. And when someone opens up, even just a little, treat it like the precious moment it is. Being heard is one of the greatest gifts we can offer each other, especially in a world that sometimes rushes past us. Don't worry about always having the perfect thing to say. You don't need to be wise or witty all the time. Just being there, fully, sincerely, is often more than enough. Friendship isn't about performance. It's about presence. Another way to strengthen a bond: make space for shared rituals. That might sound fancy, but really, it's just about finding small things you can do together regularly. Maybe it's a weekly walk, a Sunday morning call, or volunteering together once a month. These little traditions give your connection a heartbeat. They give both of you something to look forward to, something reliable in a world that can feel uncertain. And here's something that might surprise you. Sometimes being the one to offer help or ask for it can deepen a friendship in powerful ways. Don't be afraid to ask a neighbor to help you move a heavy plant, or share a recipe with someone who mentioned they love to cook. These exchanges of kindness, no matter how small, build trust and connection. They say, "We're in this together," even if you've only known each other a short while. Now let's gently address something that many seniors quietly carry: the fear of being a burden. It can be tempting to pull back, to avoid reaching out because you don't want to bother anyone. But here's the truth. Most people are longing for connection just as much as you are. And when you reach out, you're not bothering someone. You're inviting them to feel seen, valued, and included. That's a gift, not a burden. Friendship after retirement might not look like the fast-paced social lives of our younger years. It might be slower, quieter, more intentional. But it can also be deeper, richer, and more satisfying. You've earned the right to build the kind of connections that truly nourish your spirit, not out of obligation, but out of genuine joy. So take that walk, make that call, Say hello to that familiar face at the market. Smile at someone new in your group class. Every small action you take adds a stitch to the social fabric of your life. And the more you weave, the stronger and warmer it becomes. You're never too old to start again. Never too far along in life to meet someone who truly gets you. Friendships are not bound by age, they're built by heart. And you, my friend, have so much heart to share. So let's keep going. There's one final piece that can make all the difference in creating lasting, fulfilling friendships in this chapter of life. You've done the hard part, opening up, showing up, and reaching out. Now, let's talk about how to stay open, hopeful, and connected for the long haul.